This is the Red Lobo reaction show to last night's 2-2 draw against Charlton Athletic. A very, very eventful second half there where we managed to nearly throw it away and then somewhat save the game in the last minute courtesy of Max Waters. So we're going to react to last night's game and then also preview this weekend's game against Shrewsbury. Just a disclaimer, we are recording whilst the fan forum is ongoing, so we're not going to discuss that in this episode. We're going to discuss that at the weekend after we've reacted to Shrewsbury. So let's get stuck into it. So, Andy, last night, I feel like your famous saying of snatching the victory of the jaws of defeat from victory, whatever it is, can definitely apply to that. But 1-0 up, looked comfortable in it, a very sound performance up until 70 minutes. Luke Berry came on, changed it a little bit, scored a very good equaliser in terms of the actual finish. Then Charlton go and score in the 92nd minute, and then Max Waters pops up last minute to rescue the point when it should have probably really been 3.
That's right. Yeah, the actual expression is snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, but we seem to do it the other way around. So we snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Well, we nearly did last night, but we didn't quite manage it. So I thought we played a lot better last night. I thought we looked as though we got a purpose and we got some tactics, which has been sadly lacking in the 2 games against Huddersfield, where we looked clueless. I thought we were the best side, apart from about a 10-15 minute spell at the start of the second half. And it's it's not always, but it's often the case where if a side goes in losing at half time or something like that, the manager's going to say, get into them. Whereas the other side, the side that's winning, is saying more of the same. What it should be saying, or might be saying, is it's 0-0, let's have them and get into it. So it doesn't surprise me that they had a bit of a purple patch really in it. But I thought we looked all right. I didn't think we looked too bad. I thought we played quite well. I thought we had chances to win it, and we should have won it. I think our goals conceded were very, very avoidable. Whether you're a defender, midfield player, or one of 5 or 6 defenders round a ball that we still can't clear, and there's people around me shouting, "Put your boot through it." Well, that was just my brother and my flaming hero, so he counts as people around me, and we did. And I think Matt Craig were playing head tennis, just heading it up and down till Luke Berry, of all people, come on as a sub, put it in, and then flipping it, we thought he'd scored winner in injury time. So I thought, yet again, it's another goal we've conceded after so many recently in late on in injury time. Let's be honest, we had some good performances. Stephen Humphries, I thought, played really, really well. He got the ball across, really had a good few chances. He got the ball across really well that Davis Keeler done managed to get on the end of it. And I thought that were a good following to score that goal 1-0 up. And I thought we looked all right. And then, of course, Luca, finished up going off, didn't he? But Luca goes off injured and he's got his 30 seconds outside at pitch before he finally went off. And with 10 men, they managed to get a Luke Berry equaliser, which I thought was disappointing, as I've said, especially as we should have cleared it. And then in added time, they Luke Berry again, wherever it was, 3 or 4, couple of minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, wherever it was, into added time. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. Look, I don't like picking on individual players, but we've got to say that Gaga is, for me, is costing us goals. It's costing us points. And I won't say it were all his fault, but he played a fair part in that. And then, thankfully, Max Waters, back from injury, on as a sub, managed to put it away really, really, really well. Let's not forget, Johnny Russell hit the bar. He had a clear goal. Well, it looked like a clear goal from where I was at, but it was cleared off of the line. So, we had some good chances to put it to bed, and yet again from a good performance, which I'm really pleased about. I weren't since we drew. I weren't disappointed about last night. I didn't come away fed up because I thought we played well. But it's still the same thing. We're going to be ruin those drop points by just some gormless mistakes. You know, when you're down to 10 men and balls bobbling about in your area, hit it away. Don't tickle it. Don't try and play it out. We're not Man City. Just bolt it away, particularly with 10 men. And we just stood about. No, after you. No, after you. Who's going to kick it? I don't know. And all that. Just kick it. You know, leave Charlie Caroli at Blackpool. We don't need. Mind you, they've still got him in Blackpool from their results last night. I know. So, not disappointed. Just a bit saddened that they put all that effort in. The lad in front of me is about. I'm going to find out his name because I talked about it in the last home game, and he tickled me again. This one, right at the end. And I said it the last time I were on for a reaction show. Say it again. It was about 5-6 yards in front of me. Right. So Luke Berry scores goal to put them 2-1 up, and he's up, and all he's doing is just going boo, boo at players. A minute later, he's giving it all that to away fans because Max Watters has equalised. And I've said it so many times, it's a thin line between success and failure, and football, the passion of football, were there for him within a minute and a half. Well done to him. Cheered me up no end.
It just shows you exactly what fans are like. We're not fickle at
Brilliant.
all.
It's brilliant. It's football.
Exactly. It's exactly what you're after. Tracy, a couple of things there. Obviously, we had the opportunities to put that to bed. As Andy mentioned there, the opportunity when Stephen Humphries crossed it to Keeler Dunn, free header inside the box, misses the target, should be on target as a minimum. The John Russell ones, the first one, it bounces before it hits it. He can't really control it. Second one, he's done everything right. There just happens to be a player there. And then the goal, the first one is kind of unfortunate because Matt Gray has no idea where that ball is. It bounced off it 3 times and then it just puts something on it, but it happens to go straight to Luke Berry, who hit that really well, I thought, in terms of he hit it really high, and I don't think anyone was set for it to be hit at that time. And then the second one, Gaga shouts, claims it, everyone ducks and leaves it for him, and then he does the cardinal sin of not clearing what he's called for.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I think positive-wise, this time last week we were sat here saying we just needed performances, we just want us to perform better, and I think we've absolutely done that. So the last 2 games, we've just generally performed better. We've been far more committed, enthusiastic. Yeah, we've scored 2 late goals, but that says something because 2 or 3 performances ago, I think we'd have probably collapsed under that and probably lost both games. So I think the positives are there. What's now more frustrating is that we should have won that game. We should have been probably 2-3 to the good. Even the first half, possession wise, and the way we were playing, we were just playing well. And you're thinking, you know, we just need to get another couple of goals, and we don't seem to put any teams to bed at the minute. We don't sort of, you know, we're not clinical at all. Humphries getting better every game, but he's not playing as what I'd call a central striker. And obviously Keeler Dunn, that header, I mean, don't need me to tell you, he should have done better with that, but he is probably 5'3". However, he put it straight on his head. So yeah, the defending, I think the first goal was not dissimilar again to Blackpool, where it just was chaos, eluded people, and we just, yeah, as Annie said, we just need to clear his lines. I just think sometimes you've just got to put your foot through it. And again, is that naivety from some of the younger players? Maybe I thought Matt Craig was a little bit unlucky, but it were poor all round. But yeah, fair play to Luke Berry. When he came on, I thought it was very industrious for them. And made me think, I wonder why he's not been starting, because he scored a few goals this season for them, and I was surprised he'd not started. And as for Gaga, it's, you know, when you say you're not going to single out individual players, he's been pretty damn awful recently. And I think if it was any other player, they'd probably have been dropped. And I know the goalkeeper's a difficult person to drop, and he's been brought in as the number 1, definitely. And I don't know if there's any, sort of deal with Chelsea that he plays. I genuinely don't know, but that always springs to my mind a little bit, particularly as we've sent Jackson Smith out on loan, Killip weren't on the bench. It does make me think, you know, have we got some sort of agreement? I don't know. But if we haven't, then I think possibly it's time for him to be dropped, because as I say, I think if it's any other player, for the number of mistakes he's making and the importance of the mistakes. And I know that's part of being a goalkeeper, but like last night was just terrible. If you're going to come out there, I'm not a goalkeeper. I don't profess to know loads about goalkeeping, but if you're going to come out, for me, it's like you take everything with you. You just clear everything out, and he didn't do anything. He didn't clear anybody. He barely cleared the ball. Again, to be fair to Luke Berry, he finished it well, but it should never have happened. But fair play to us coming back, because again, like I say, I think a few weeks ago that wouldn't have happened. And I thought Max Watters, considering how long he's been out, looks sharp, very sharp. And I know he's a bit like Marmite, but I thought before he got injured, he was actually getting reasonably playing well, and I thought he'd come back looking sharp. So that again is a positive.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird one, Craig. So obviously the performance is there. It's almost like fans are never happy about everything in football, but the performance is there, and it just felt like one of those games where I think it was that second one where he got cleared off line, where you could almost see the script of this has got Charlton equalising and or winning it, because we've had Russell at the bar, Kieran's missed that header, we've now won cleared off a line. You can almost see the script of that game coming.
Yeah. But it wasn't his own doing this time. I mean, normally we'd drop back and we invite the pressure. I thought we dealt with the match pretty well. I thought we if nobody would have said we didn't deserve 3 points, nobody would say that Charlton deserved a win either. So, a bit bitter with a point, but from 4 points from the two games, I think I'd have took that beforehand, so I'll definitely take it now. Our call into question Clark's managerial tic-tackery of ticking about with all these formations, and he seems to have calmed it down a little bit. When that board went up and said Humphries to come off, I was absolutely going sick, but then they changed it to Yoga Nathan's number, so that was quite funny. I thought, what's he doing here? Because why is he fetching the striker off for a midfielder? Is he doing it again? But I'll give this one. Well played. Look, these games, sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. I thought we played superbly well. I think as pressing has got a lot better. I said in the last video that to do a good press, you need to first block the pass rather than just go for the man. You've got to block the passing lane, and we seem to be managing space a lot better than we were. I think George Gent has been phenomenal for us. Turn that alarm off. Also, Humphries, I think, absolutely fantastic yesterday. Their defence were terrified whenever Humphries got on the ball. All they did was back off because they knew that he's got the skill, the pace to get straight past you. I thought Yoga Nathan played well. I think he come off when he should have come off. It's just all about keeping these performances consistent, though. We're going to Shrewsbury next, the down bottom at table in relegation zone. Treat them, though, like you treat Blackpool, like you treat with the same amount of respect. Don't overlook an opponent, because that's when you lose. But in regards to keeper, yeah, I'm with you guys. I think he's dropped a couple of clangers. He's cost us a few points this season. But he's young, and I don't think he will be dropped. I think Chelsea will have had it in that contract that he plays so many games, or he plays every game while ever he's fit. And it's up to the club whether they want to burn those bridges, because you will if you don't stick to it. So, Jackson, I wanted to see him start. I want to see him stay at club. I want to see him come back from Grimsby and possibly at least contend with Slanina for a start, because I don't think any player, no matter where you come from, how much you cost, should have free reign over a position on the pitch. You should always be pushed by somebody behind you, because that's where complacency comes in. So I think having Jackson, because I don't think Killip's really ever been seen as a possible first team goalkeeper for us, but I think Jackson could. So yeah, it's an hard result to take, because I thought we played so well and we really deserved it. But over the two games, it's more that I predicted a loss in both games, to be quite honest. So Yeah, I'll quite happily take 4 points.
We didn't have a goalkeeper on the bench either last night, which I don't know if that's because Ben Killett was
Football
injured.
manager tactic. That's what you've gone for there, Darryl Clark. You love to see it.
I
He's
mean,
not
it used
getting
to be all
sent
right
off.
when we got
There
Bobby
were
Hassel.
Callum Simpson in the stands. We could have got him in there. He's quite good with his hands.
Yeah, but he gave penalties away by knocking him out.
Might be able to punch ball a bit better.
He'd
That's
have punched that second ball
He's
away.
been taller
That
as
second
well,
goal.
isn't he?
Go on, Tracy. Go on. Punch it further.
yeah.
It bust it.
Andy, in terms of obviously we've had that sort of looking over the past two games, it did seem prior to that, obviously coming off the back of the Huddersfield results, both games, both same results, same performance, two different sides. It did start to a lot of fans be a bit like, is Darryl Clark the right man? But it does seem that international break, a little bit of break for the players, a little bit more time on the pitch, on the training pitch, sorry, to sort of iron out some of those issues. There is still issues within there, but it seems like it's not a structural issue necessarily anymore. It's just almost unfortunate things happening of like the Craig one of what the chance it bounced off his head 5 times in a row, and then the next place where he tries to play it to and poke it to is right to Luke Berry edge of box. It's almost an unfortunate thing that happened rather than an actual problem.
An unfortunate series of events. Yeah, most definitely that.
That's like my life story.
Well, never mind, Craig. Never mind. It can only get better. It can only get better, Craig. Well, might not. Yeah, I mean, I was one that was questioning it quite seriously that the two Huddersfield games, and it weren't just. I mean, the players of either of the sides that we put out, which were 20 odd players in total, didn't cover themselves in just. But the tactics looked a repeat of the same tactics. We were all over the place. Well, there didn't seem to be any tactics, any strategy, any tactics, anything. It would just send 11 players out on the pitch and just do what you want to do. So one would close down and nobody else. The last couple of matches, when they've closed down, press, call it what you want, there's been more than one do it. They've been looking around to see what they need to pick up. I'm not saying they've got it perfect, but there seems to be a strategy and a purpose. And I'm with Craig. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Don't keep changing formations. I know we've talked about different formations and 3 at the back, 5 at the back, whichever you want to call it, and 4 at the back. I'm not sure I don't think we got the players to play 4 at the back. I don't think we've got 2 fullbacks that can play fullback. We've only got centre backs that can play properly fullback. So I'm quite comfortable with 3 at the back. So at least there'll be 3 people, another person there that can hopefully clear it and not just be caught out because we're not quick enough. So it's looked better. It has definitely looked better. So maybe the international break has made a difference, and Darryl himself has got his head around things and started to look at it. I was surprised on Saturday that he played Corey O'Keefe at right wing back instead of Barry Cotter because he's had a tremendous season. But Corey in the last 2 games has played pretty well. So it didn't surprise me that he kept his play. I felt sorry for him because he made some right runs down right hand wing, and sometimes he didn't get ball to him. And I think he was thinking, flipping heck, I'm surprised he stayed on. He must have been wiped out at 90 minutes. And as I think Craig said, George Gent, he was excellent last night. He was good against Blackpool, and he was excellent last night. He showed why we bought him, and we weren't sure a raw 19-year-old and what have you. And we know Blackburn Rovers fans were a bit upset that their club had let him go, but we hadn't seen really where it was about because he keeps getting substituted and he's like almost not trusted. He was outstanding last night, particularly in the first half when he was taking players on, getting good crosses in, but having that bottle, and getting fouled in the way, it takes some doing for it. He gets ball and he starts going at it, puts ball one side and guns right other side at man. He looked a find last night and again on Saturday, as I said. So I'm hopeful that we're starting to get with some tinkering a balanced side and a balanced style.
Not too much tinkering though.
No, we don't need the tinkering. Well, you tinker things. If you've got to tinker it because somebody's injured or somebody's having an awful game, but that don't mean about changing formations. If the formation is clearly not working, you've got to have a backup plan because last year we were giving Neil Collins all sorts of rel because it just replaced like for like and nothing had changed even when it were clearly not working. So I'm glad that he's tried things out. I'm hoping now we've got to a stage where he's looked at different formations with the players that we've got and realised only change it if it's dire and not working, clearly not working. Don't do it automatically, which is what we were doing. It was nice to see that Gaga didn't go down after 60 minutes to have a breather or whatever, because he's been doing that a bit. So all in all, I thought we did all right, and I'm thinking we're looking better. We're looking a lot better, and we needed to.
Yeah, we did.
For Darrell's sake and the coaching staff for him to continue. It were a downward trend, and so far for 2 games, they seem to have turned it around a little bit, and let's hope it continues.
Yeah, so Tracy, a lot of it was a little bit of a weird side. Well, it seemed like a weird side at the time against Blackpool, sort of John Russell kind of coming in from nowhere because it's not like he sort of excelled in that game against Huddersfield and sort of was one of the standout performers necessarily. And obviously, Cotter being dropped as well for O'Keefe, which Cotter just won Player of the Month, and then he's been sat on bench, bless him, for last 2 games. But I think them selections from Clark have been vindicated by the fact of John Russell in that sort of more advanced position, especially last night, almost playing as an attacking midfielder at times, like the focal point of that midfield. It seems like that balance is a lot more balanced, rather than it being Luca and Craig who sort of tried to play similar roles and then it just doesn't mesh together nicely.
Yeah, I think if we talk about our best footballers, then John Russell would not be one of those in terms of midfield because I think Craig, Connell, Phillips, etc. I think are better in terms of footballers. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that they fit together, and I think that was the thing because I'm far from John Russell's biggest fan. I say that week on week because I think he's offered very little so far since he's come to us. However, we seem to have at last found a spot for him where he's affecting the game, and he's certainly not under the pressure that he was in the holding role where he struggled to get tackles in. He seemed to look slow. He went around in circles. He couldn't find feet. For whatever reason, whether it is that he knows that Luca's behind him, he seems to be more confident. He's certainly, and when he went forward last night, not only did he make some strong passes, but the 2 chances he had were decent. And he created certainly the one where he hit the bar. I thought, it weren't the easiest of chance. And the other one, like you say, he did everything right really, and it was just a great clearance. But I think he's affecting the game now, whereas I think he's been a passenger pretty much since he's arrived. So yeah, credit where it's due because I certainly have not been his biggest fan. I feel a bit sorry for Matthew Craig really because I think he's generally done all right. But yeah, if you don't fit into it, then you don't fit into it. It's probably Barry that I feel more sad for because I think he's been pretty much consistently our top 3 players every game. But I suppose I didn't speak to Darryl Clark. That's not true at all. I heard that Darryl Clark had said that the trainers that worked hard in training were being rewarded, and we saw lots and lots of videos of what they were doing in training. So clearly O'Keefe and Russell have been training hard and working hard because he seems to have rewarded the ones that have trained hard. And now it's a difficult one because O'Keefe's played so well in the last 2 games. And Josh Earl's going to be out on Saturday because of his 5th booking, but that won't make any difference to Barry Cotter because I can't see him coming in and playing in the back 3 there. So I think Donovan will get his start. So yeah, but I think Barry's just got to wait and get his chance, and when he comes on, do what he's been doing. I did think he'd come on last night because I thought O'Keefe tired a lot, like you said, Andy. I thought he was struggling maybe the last 10, but I think probably O'Keefe is better defensively. Certainly Cotter's more entertaining attackingly, but yeah, it is what it is. But you can't knock it when I don't think he could change the side yesterday from Saturday, other than obviously Phillips. I don't think he could change the side, so we'll see going forward. He'll have to change Earl, but other than that, I think it'd be harsh to change again.
You've just given one of the greatest ideas ever of Barry Cotter at right centre back, Marl at left, and then Matt Roberts in middle, and having him overlapping O'Keefe. That's a dangerous right hand side.
Very.
I'm going to predict that we're losing 5-0 then on Saturday.
No,
with that back three. That's not happening, Craig.
7-5 to us. No one's stopping them two.
I thought Karaoke put in some great corners last night. We didn't capitalise on them, but you know they're at that bit right at the end of the first half where we must have had about 4 or 5 all you know consecutively. He put in some really good corners, and we've not always done that. You know, we sometimes don't clear the first man, but he put in some tremendous corners, I thought, and crosses.
What did the second half as well, where Mark Robertson has scored from a corner at far post, or just a cross?
No,
we're a corner.
Corner,
yeah. They were quite dangerous.
History were going to repeat itself. Should have brought Big Donny on.
Yeah,
then it would have.
That's what
have that.
I reckon as soon as Earl got booked, they were like, "We're not putting Pines on because you're definitely going to have to start on Saturday."
Yeah.
Craig, another sort of good performance in the little time they had on was Max Waters, which the finish, it was a difficult finish for him to put away, really, because when you look at the one, I think the one that springs to my mind is Wigan, where he went through 1-on-1 and put it wide, and that was one where I was like, you just need that bit, like you just needed that first goal to get the confidence, and I think now he's got that, he just seems to offer more in his overall game, and I think there's a little bit more confidence in him to actually deliver now as well, and it seems like he's got it, because to take that on the swivel, I think on his weaker foot as well, get the power he did, and given that it was the last chance we had in that game to get to salvage something from it, it's not the easiest way to be introduced back into the side.
Yeah, well, I think we saw signs at the beginning of the season when he played against Northampton and played against Sheffield United, where he scored, and then he got injured. So like we're just coming into form, and then he got injured, and you know, we were a good finish with his left foot. So the only thing is now he's got 2 really good strikers ahead of him, in Humphries and Keeler Dunn, who look like they're coming into form too, which is a good headache to have. I don't think you can just shoehorn him in yet, because the way we were pressing last night, it seems like Keeler Dunn and Humphries, like they defend in the wide areas, you know, and then when we attack, they tend to come inside. With the press as well, we're not pressing the centre backs. We're marking the midfielders and the wide men and not allowing them to play out. So I think that's been really smart from Clark. If I can say it, you know, I think he's done something really well there. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do against a team that we should ship a few goals against, because they are really confidence-making matches against the teams in relegation spots. But, well, knowing us, it could be the complete opposite. So we'll have to see. But in terms of Waters, I just want to keep playing him, because he's getting goals now, and that's what we were missing. I just want to say something about Johnny Russell as well. Beginning of the season, even in pre-season, I thought he looked a different player.
Yeah.
Last season under Collins, he was playing deep in Luca's role, and he didn't look comfortable. It didn't look like tackling's not inherent in him. It's not something he enjoys doing. Luca enjoys tackling. You can see it. You know, he enjoys going forward, does Johnny Russell. He enjoys trying to create patterns of play. And, I mean, he did a few passes that normally take a while to go through to us strikers, but he seemed to do it straight away instinctively when we were on counter-attack. I think, especially in the second half, he did 2 really good counter-attacking passes. I think Craig, it's unfortunate, but I think needs to be on the bench for a while, because I think Luca needs his position back. I think he's looked better since he's been able to stay deep again. I think we're starting to see Luca of the ilk that we've seen him over the past few seasons. I think Phillips is irreplaceable, and I think Johnny Russell's showing that, given the license to go forward and affect things in that area, I think he's earned the right to be given a few starts. I think as well, George Gent as well on the left, I think he needs to start again. He looks like he's getting confident. Him and Humphries him and Keeler Dunn on that left hand side. I mean, they were terrified. because the interplay, one moving for the other. If one went wide, ran round, the other one would come in. So I mean, they're getting a really good relationship on that left hand side. O'Keefe, I think, played really well, and like I say, I'm not Cotter's biggest fan because I think he wastes a lot of possession, but I also think he's exciting and can produce moments in a match that can win you games. I'm just glad that we're seeing the best of O'Keefe and we're also seeing the best of Cotter at the same time because, I mean, you can't have too many good players. But like last season, we really struggled down that right hand side because we didn't have it. I mean, our best right back, well, a defender for much of the season. But yeah, it's going to be every time there's a foul in that we're a central defender or one of the central defenders going to hand now, it's going to be squeaky bum time because we can't lose one. Or it's going to be O'Keefe or Johnny Russell or somebody in centre back.
We've got Conor McCarthy.
Yeah.
Let's put Big Baz there. Him on right hand side. Corey O'Keefe, Adam Phillips. That's a dream right hand side I've ever seen one. And then Humphries just drifts out
it's
there.
It's very attacking. I'll give him that.
Yeah, we'll win 8-5 against everyone. That'll be fine.
I'll take that. But ultimately, that's what I'm trying to say. The way that we played at the minute, I can take a draw, whereas I can't take a draw if we just defend for the last 30 minutes and end up conceding a late goal. I'd rather concede going for it than concede retreating. Ultimately.
No, it is. Right, get your reaction to last night's game down below in the comments. What did you think? Who did you think played well?
A penalty and all. There should have been a penalty and all. Referee missed it. Only time I'm going to mention referee. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh.
You had to get it in there, didn't
we? Almost got through. We almost got through without any mention.
Quite good though. I reckon you've gone well over half an hour there.
I thought referee did all right apart from that. Didn't do too bad.
Wow.
I think everything's spot on personally.
I'll be taking that to the bank.
Yes, get your thoughts down in the comments below. Any standout players you thought? Do you think Darrell Clark has sort of found that winning formula now in this 11 and also the tactics as well? Right, so looking forward then to Saturday when we make the trip down to Shrewsbury and looking at a stats pack. So manager Paul Hurst, top scorer, George Lloyd with 3, which also is Jordan Shipley's got 3 as well, Andy. Is that correct? Jonathan
I think so. It all depends which stats you look at, doesn't it?
It is. It does.
You think they'd all be pretty similar, but not
apparently
always.
Sat 22nd in the league, form 3 losses, a win and a draw in their last 5. Formation 4-2-3-1. Key stat is Shrewsbury have the 3rd highest goals against this season with 22 goals against them. And key player John Marquis. So I feel like we play him every single week at the minute. He always seems to pop up at the minute. So Andy, as we've sort of alluded to so far already, Shrewsbury seem a side that have not had the greatest start this season. And obviously Ship 22 in, 12 games they've played, 12 games that they've played. So averaging over a goal a game that they're throwing in. So there's an opportunity there for us to sort of really make a statement this weekend.
There is. They're not playing particularly well, but Shrewsbury are a side that can confuse the opposition. They can be really rugged. They can be otherwise, and it all depends. At home they've won 1 game at home, drawn 1, and I think lost 4. I think at home. So they're not pulling up any trees, which surprises me a little bit because I always quite liked Paul Hurst as a player for one thing, and a manager at Chesterfield. He lost his way completely, I think, at Ipswich. So I'm surprised that he's not turning them around a bit. Maybe this time yet, it's still relatively early on into it. I'll make one prediction early. John Marquis will go down it box like he's been shot from the stands. I'll tell you that much. Without any goal predictions, who's going to win and what have you, he definitely will go down at least once. And as he hits the ground, looking round at referee, look at me, ref, I've just been fouled. That's guaranteed. That's a tumble down, Ted, waiting to happen. So get ready for that prediction. I think we can do this. I think we've got with the change that there's going to be, as Tracy said, Josh Erling going to be playing. So I'm assuming, all things being equal, that Donny Pines will come in, and I'm quite happy with that because then when we get a long throw, we've got somebody's head to put it on because there were a lot of long throws that looked dangerous that were just headed away unchallenged last night, which I found a bit disappointing. So that'll be a bit different. Don't know about Adam Phillips. It looked as though it were his ankle. Only from what I saw, rather than a recurrence of his toes. So whether he'll be fit or not for Saturday against Shrewsbury, I don't know. So that could result in either Jorgen Nathan's keeping his place or Max Waters coming in and Keeler Dunn playing there. Who knows? Because there's he can definitely do that. Who knows what's going to happen? But I think it's strong enough. I think we're strong enough to get a result. And much as they might give it some. If we play like we played the last two matches and close them down and go for it, they'll make mistakes. Because I don't think they're as good as some of the teams we've played recently. I'll hazard a guess. You should never. Any team can beat any team in this division, but I wouldn't have put a likely win for them above a likely win for either Charlton or Blackpool. I would expect that we would approach it in a professional and proper way, and get a result there. I don't think they'll be able. I'm not sure they'll be able to stop Stephen Humphries on his own, because he's been, or George Gent, because them two, what the heck, they were somewhat else last night. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be a good game. I just hope it's not a litany of fouls, whether real or imagined, and referee blowing for them or not blowing for them. I hope it's a flowing game of football. I suspect it might not be against Shrewsbury. I'm hoping that Paul Hurst has changed their style a little bit, because they've always been to me, they've always seemed a bit industrial.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the game. Use it to your advantage.
Stop start. It's not good to it. It's an entertainment business.
No,
Stop
use
starting
it to your
fouls and
advantage.
kicking.
It's not an entertainment business. We're here strictly for results only. None of that entertainment. None about that. Tracy, Shrewsbury, almost, I'm looking at the games that they've played this season, and they've had a really rough start of it when you look at the sides they've played. Peterborough, Huddersfield, Bolton, Wrexham, Charlton, Mansfield, Stockport, Exeter, Birmingham. They've played nearly the top 10 so far this season. So they've not had the easiest start to this when you sort of look at it. And they've got some all right results within there. Yeah, granted, they've lost 9, 1, 2, drawn 2. But a couple of draws that they've picked up in there against Rotherham and Bolton. And then a very entertaining 5-3 win against Crawley, who Crawley turned someone over last night, 3-0, I think, from memory. So there's a couple of, almost like there could have been a bit of a false position being down in 22nd. But again, a side that you wouldn't really expect to be challenging top 10. It is one of those games where start of the season, you look at it and think, that should be 3 points.
Yeah, especially with our away form, which obviously is still pretty good. And their own form's not particularly good. So it's certainly more of an optimistic going into Saturday than it was this time last week going into Saturday against Blackpool. They're a funny side, and they've always been a funny side. We expected all they're going to be facing a relegation battle because of the nature of them. But they're tough, and yeah, they've had some tough teams, and they've not got hammered really. When I looked at the results, they've lost by an odd goal quite a few times. So, but then they have ship goals pretty much every game. So you're thinking that we've got to go there on the front foot, and I won't expect us to do anything different. When you look at the league table, the top, barring probably Birmingham, who are starting to put their foot on the pedal a bit. But other than that, it's very close. Certainly from there down to about, I think it's 12th, 13th, it's really close. But then at the bottom, you've got Burton and I noticed Shrewsbury, and they're already at danger of starting to get cut adrift. So for them, I guess it's time for them to start turning it around, because if not, I would expect Paul might be under some pressure. So yeah, it's on paper, of course we don't play on paper, I don't see anything but a win, and it's like I say, it's complete contrast to this time last week where we're all sat here going, oh God, it's been terrible, and now we've got Blackpool where we never beat Blackpool, and then we did, and last night we played really well. So everyone's far more positive, and then there's a niggle at the back of it that thinks, and we know what happens when that happens. So yeah, I just think if we continue playing as we are, I can't see anything but a positive outcome, in theory.
No, it's nice to have that positivity. I suppose it's a great point you made there, sort of how close the league actually is, of looking like down to 14th at Bolton. There's only 2 points between us and Bolton, and
Yeah.
we're not even the high side on 19 points at Huddersfield, who are in fifth. So Bolton down in 14th, only 2 points away from fifth place. So it's very close in it, Craig, this season in terms of we knew it was going to be like this when you saw the sides who've come up, and they also see the way in which Mansfield have started, who are a little bit of an anomaly in there. Exeter have thrown themselves right up into the mix as well. There's not really an easy game, and sort of when you get to these quote unquote easier games against Shrewsbury, these are almost the ones that make and break your season in terms of you're expecting 3 points, you don't get 3 points, and suddenly it's back to what's the side of play? Do we need to change managers? Why are the players not playing? And it just makes you ask all them questions all over again that we've almost just got away from asking.
It's all about mentality, if you ask me. Um, you've got to go into every match as if you're playing the top of the league, and that's the way. That's how champions are born. Because you go in there, you don't get complacent, you don't overlook anybody. You treat everybody with the same amount of respect as you treat everybody else. And I think sometimes that can eke into squads where they're like, "Oh, we're only going down to Shrewsbury," but Shrewsbury's been a very rugged team this season. I mean, Tracy said it there. They've only lost by a goal every now and again. There's only Birmingham really with a standout result against them where they absolutely got trounced. But we knew this going into this season when the teams coming down and the teams coming up, them six teams that were all strong playoff contenders. If we knew if they got things right, if they got the transfer right, if they kept the teams together, especially the teams coming up, we knew Stockport were going to be strong. We knew Wrexham could invest money in. The only team I thought that maybe might not be able to stay at the level were Mansfield, but they seem to be holding their own. So it's a very tough league. Last year we should have walked it. To be quite honest, the teams were pretty poor. But this season it's completely opposite story. I think every team's in weird shout in most games. You know, there's other than Birmingham, like you say, there's no real team that you're going to say they're guaranteed. You know, so it's these matches now against the teams like Shrewsbury, we're going to find out what the team's made of, because these are the matches that you can quite easily just, I don't know, have not take it too seriously. You know, this is where the manager needs to step in. The captains in the team need to step in and go, come on, focus. You know, you can go and lay down at home when match is done with. You know what I mean? Don't be taking things easy on the way into the match, so to speak. But yeah, we know all about him. I mean, the manager I think he's a good manager, Paul Hurst. He seems to be tinkering because I noticed the last three games he's played a 3-5-2. So I think he's trying to find where the holes are in his team and trying to shore it up defensively a little bit, which has cost them really because they haven't scored in the last two. But yeah, I'm not expecting it to be a walkover. I'm expecting us to win. Don't get me wrong, but I'm expecting them to put in a decent performance and make a real fist of it. Because last season when we went there, I think did we concede? Did we 1-1? I think we conceded in second half, and I think we should have won that match by 3 or 4 goals. I think by the end of it. So. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, but more to me, it's going to be the mentality going into the game that's going to speak a lot for how. Because if we trounce them 3 or 4-0, we just know just how serious our team's taking it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be key. Andy, come to you first. Prediction. What do you reckon then to Saturday?
It's going to be a strange one, I think. We don't know about Luke O'Connell, do we? We don't know if he's going to be able to play. We don't know if Adam Phillips is going to be able to play. We know that Josh Earl's not playing. So it could be a change side. It could be a minimal change, or it could be quite a big change. I expect that if we match them, and they'll come at us, as Craig said, they're a rugged side. They've always been a rugged side, and they do what they've got to do best. I just thought we come out of it without any more injuries. And I hope that we can. I hope that we can do it. Tracy says they've not lost by many by the odd goal, and I think hopefully they'll do exactly the same. Before I go into prediction, just let me say one thing. Last Sunday I went to watch the boy Noah play in his cup final, and they went 1-0 down after 1 minute, but he equalised from left wing back after about 4 minutes, and then from being 3-1 up, they tried to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory and went to 3-all. Referee helped the opposition a little bit, in my personal opinion. But
that makes a change from you,
referee did really, really well, I thought, apart from getting I thought personally, a ludicrous penalty away. And then with a few minutes to go, a lovely move, and up from left wing back, up pops the boy Noah with a few minutes to go, and looked as though we were going to hit an absolute screamer, but because it were in the wind and rain, he missed the damn thing, got it stuck in his legs, but managed to get it out from his leg swivel and smack in the winner. So really, really chuffed for him. So, and Barnsley will win 2-1 and all.
Yeah, well done, Noah.
Oh, just for a change.
I said they were going to lose 2-1 in flipping Blackpool, and what did they do? They won 2-1. I went 2-1 last night, and look what they did. I'm thinking 1-0, and I'm saying to my brother, there's no way this is going to stay at 1-0. Luca Connell goes off injured. No way it's going to be 1-0. And they score straight away. I'm trying not to keep my big, stupid mouth shut. I'm sure that'll please a lot of people if I do.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think it would.
It'll please me if I get my big, stupid mouth shut and all.
Tracy?
I'm going to go for a 3-1 Reds win. Can't see us never conceding. We don't keep many clean sheets at the minute, even so. So yeah, I still think they might get the goal. But yeah, I'm pretty confident going into this one. So yeah, 3-1.
It's nice to be confident for once. Craig?
I'm pretty confident. I think we're going to cause them a lot more problems than they cause us. I think they might have a couple of shots on target. I'm not expecting any great deal of attacking prowess from them. I think it'll be 2-0. I think a steady 2-0.
Just a nice, easy one there. Confidence building. I'm gonna go with you, Craig. I thought 2-0 before. I think clean sheet. Unless Lenina decides he fancies one. Then it might be 2-1. Yeah, I think 2-0. They're not scoring many, and they concede. It'll be good to get that confidence. Nice, steady win in there. Right, make sure to get your predictions down in the comments below as well, because points mean prizes. So get your predictions down below. I don't know where we are and do the mini competition.
I'm gonna put it. I'll put it out because I didn't put in last night's. There are couple of people I think went 2-2.
Well done to those. Going for a nice Desmond. I know Tom Webster had it.
I'm planning to. I know. I'm trying not to mention names.
Infuriating
with a peak cap.
Oh, yeah, infuriating.
The rapper.
MC Webster.
MC Webster. Depends what MC stands for. Muppet. Well, I don't know. We're all different, aren't we?
I'm going to put that on his Twitter handle thing at bottom next time he's on. If he's got that on, I'm going to change it to that.
Here's one at Muppets.
Yes, it is. Yes, get your predictions down in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully we can start moving forward now. 3 points at the weekend to round off what will be a 7-point week from 9, which I think most of them would have taken especially after the Huddersfield game. I've definitely been happy with 7 from 9. So yeah, we'll be back on Sunday morning with our reaction to Saturday's game against Shrewsbury and also the fans forum, which is, I think, still underway at 8 o'clock. I don't know if I keep getting notifications popping up saying that there's some clips in that to watch. So if you are watching it,
it's still live.
Oh, it is still on. So yes, there'll be loads to digest on that. So it might be a longer episode on Sunday.
Smith is there. Our roving reporter, Smith is
They'll
there.
never get away.
They'll have forgotten by Sunday. It's not right.
It'll never end.
Shouldn't leave it till Sunday. They'll not
that's
remember
why it's still on. That's why it's still on. He'll be taking selfies with John Flatman and Maladen.
Anyone else?
Yeah. And anyone that's in the near vicinity of him. And you'll know that I was there. Yes, so we'll be talking about the fans forum and everything that's been discussed in that
It's
as well.
just stopped, by the way.
Oh, just on time.
Perfect timing.
Just on time. It's like they knew we'd finish. Right, we're back on Sunday. We'll see you there, you Reds.